from California. He loves his damn old rodeo as much as he loves me. Someday soon, going with him someday soon.
Fish are jumping,
Fish are jumping,
cotton is high.
oh,
Oh, and your daddy's rich,
ooh, your daddy's
your
rich,
mama's good looking.
and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby,
Don't you cry.
so hush, little baby,
Don't you
cry.
Thank you, thank you. On Tulsa time, living on Tulsa time. You know I've been through it when I set my watch back to it. Living on Tulsa time. Well, there I was in Hollywood, wishing I was doing good, talking on the telephone line. They don't need me in the movies, and nobody sing my songs. Guess I'm just a waste of time. Well, then I got to thinking, and man, I really had a flash this time. The bottle with me drinking, and I packed up my leaving. We're headed back to Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. You know I've been through it when I set my watch back to it. Living on Tulsa time. We're living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. You know I've been through it when I set my watch back to it. Living on Tulsa time. You know I've been through it when I set my watch back to it. Living on Tulsa time.
Wring my hands and moan. Well, the wolf he scratches at my door, and I can hear the lonesome wind blow. Tell me, baby, why you've been gone so long. Tell me, baby, why you've been gone, you've been gone,
turned out, I had a booking in Point Arena that night, and so I never expected the other gig to happen, but neither did my mom. At 9 o'clock at night, she was getting phone calls as to where was the band. We were in Point Arena, and there was an empty stage in Ukiah, so that didn't go good. That's when I got business cards and said, call me. And my mom that next morning, she said, you got a phone call to make, and you take care of it now. Because Mom would take all the calls during the day. People would call to get a booking, and you'll see those books over there, and she'd have it there on the stick-em type papers or notebooks at that time. And then I would confirm it all, and we had all these gigs lined up. So she was my own secretary, and Susan put the book out that I bought her for Secretary's Day one year. So anyway, I know I was going to leave something out if I didn't, but things were rolling right along. Business cards, we were taking bookings, playing lots of bookings. So probably around 83 in there, Ron Tinkler introduced himself to me and said, I'm a pedal steel player and would like to play with you guys. So Ron came along on board and would join us for a lot of gigs. And later in the 80s, towards the end of the 80s, anyway, Lynn Archibald as well would play with us. But before that, like back here when we were doing the dedication, Pete Blue, if any of you remember, Pete Blue was a local truck driver, and he played banjo, and so he would, when we were playing local and stuff, he would hang out with us and play banjo. And things get busy, and people doing that. We had a lot of people fill in, help us out, different times if somebody was busy doing something else. So it was definitely a local thing. And went pretty well. The fair dance started we did the first one in 1980 out in the arena, because there was no Apple Hall. They had condemned the old Apple Hall, and we were waiting for the new one. So come 1981, the new one was built, and we started having the fair dances in the auditorium again. And so that was a big success, big crowds, just crazy crowds. And we would do all of the 80s at the fair, and we stayed busy all over through the 80s. And then careers and family and everything got started with the guys and everybody. And we've been playing a long time, and for a bunch of young kids. And the thing, when we were in the early days, we were all loggers as well. Once we were out of school, all four of us, and we would play music, sometimes double headers on a weekend. Always out of town 90% of the time, Ukiah, Potter Valley, the coast, Point Arena. And then we'd get home at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and then get up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday to go to work in the woods and do our logging stuff. And it was okay then, we were in our 20s, but that's not going to happen now. I'm sure of that. So the 80s went well, real busy. Got into the 90s, not so busy, did a going away party for Pete Blue, Jerry Philbrick's wedding, I think, stuff like that. So everybody was doing their thing. So we pretty much didn't play much at all in the 90s, in the latter part. And I was become self-employed. Craig had gone off to work for the state, California, CAL FIRE, CDF, and I had a call one day to come look at a road in Rancho Navarro. It was the landlord lady, and she said, my driveway's really bad, it was in the wintertime, could you go look at it, because I do road work and was logging at the same time. She said, could you look at it and repair it and let the people know that are living there? And I said, sure. So I go on a drizzly, rainy day, and I'm walking up their driveway and looking at it, and I come to the house, and I knock on the door, and this guy opens the door, and I said, I'm Dean Titus, and your landlady, I forget the name, asked me to look at your driveway to fix it. And he goes, where's your guitar? I said, well, it's under my bed. He said, it's time to get it out. And his name was Catfish Jack.
Oh, wow.
So we became acquainted, of course, there, and we started picking together and playing together. And then along about 2001, he thought it was time we got something public and gather everybody up, so a whole group of musicians, and we went to Lauren's Cafe in downtown Boonville. And Jack and Maria did it, and Maria Billiboy, and they were a great musician pair, and they did all the work. Maria made posters and Jack did, and they walked literally and put them on telephone poles and everything all around, and really put a lot into it, and talked to everybody and different musicians, and so we had this big country music night. And then the last set of the night, we gathered up all the old Coyote Cowboys, and that was the first time we played back together since mid 90s, and the place was packed. Lauren, I think that was one of your biggest things. I mean, it was just crazy and loud. I mean, everybody's ears were ringing. So that got us back in the groove again. And then Dave Gowan was the manager of the fair at the time, and he had heard about it. He said, well, why don't you guys come do the fair again? So that started us again on the fair, and I think that was 04, somewhere in there, early 2000s. And then 2005, we were playing a jam session at Lauren's, and on a New Year's Eve. And this gal comes up to me and she goes, do you know this song by Emmylou Harris? I said, no, do you? And she says, yeah. I said, well, why don't you get up here and sing it? And she said, okay. And I said, what's your name? She said, well, it's Susan Clark. So Susan came up and sang, and then we kept in touch with that, and come fair time 2006, which you'll see the picture over here, Susan came up and joined us. She was living in San Francisco at the time, and she came up and joined us, and it was like just a whole nother world of, great talent and vocals, and so that we kept the fair playing. Well, we're still doing it. Actually, we'll be back there again this year. This is the fair's 100th anniversary, and we've probably played 50 of them, but no. But I know we've at least played 20 of the fair dances one way or another. So that put us up to 2006. Now it's 24, and we're still here together.
I'd like to see a raise of hands if you had the Coyote Cowboys play at your wedding. And then your other hand if your second wedding or your kids' or your grandkids' wedding.
We had a couple of double headers.
Party. Oh, yeah.
And then a lot of people, we played for the weddings during the 80s, Steve and Terry and everybody here, everybody getting married and then having kids. Well, then the next go around, we were playing for their kids' weddings. So it went on for a long time. And then, well, I'm not sure I can think of. Well, Craig started making guitars, and of course, that's one of them.
Oh, wow.
He also did leather work in the early years. He made Dean's strap. Very talented, gifted artwork. Well, you can see for yourself. I mean, his guitars just have a beautiful sound. Yeah. I think he's made 7 now.
Wow.
But we had a lot of good times. We had, like I say, big times. And I'm not sure if Sheriff Kendall was working for the Sheriff's Department at that time, but I presume they've taken down our red flag notice when the Cowboys were playing. We used to do the Hopland Street Dance, and we did 3 of those in 1 year. And right there by the Thatcher Hotel, which was the old Pomo Inn, towards the railroad track, we would play outside, and it took up the whole street, and pretty soon it was just so many people, it probably crowded out into 101. And one fair time we were playing and got done, because those days we finished at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning in the auditorium, and we were packing up, and a couple of deputies were coming through to make their, just kind of making a round, and one of them comes up to me and says, are you playing over there in Hopland next month? I said, yeah. Well, he wasn't as excited as I was. But But we're about as local as you can get. Families go way back. Prontolino's on the ridge, on Greenwood Ridge, Signal Ridge. Eddie's family, the Maccabees, of course, way back. Craig and I's grandfather homesteaded on Mountain View Road, only on the other side, going down into the coast side on Brush Creek. That's where my grandfather homesteaded, and Dad was born, along with 13 in his family. So we're local, and still getting together when we can, doing this. Just not like we were before, and but we have fun every time we do it. And it's because of people like this community. It's you know, it's a great community. It's a small community, but it's perfect. It's been a lot of fun, and thank you guys, for everybody, for all your support, and thank the museum for having us again. Anybody? Eddie, Craig?
I just want to say thank you to my wonderful wife, Marty, for putting up with us doing this for 50 years.
Yeah.
A lot of those pictures out there on the table Marty took because she followed the band for years, and then, well, Marty can speak for herself, but I think once she started having kids, maybe the pictures stopped too. But
And she was tired of the same old songs, you know. Can't blame him, but yeah, everybody's spouses or other partners and our bosses, you know, put up with all of our late run, but we always made it to work, always did our job.
well, the wolf he scratches at my door, and I can hear the lonesome wind blow. Tell me, baby, why you've been gone so long. Tell me, baby, why